Thank you very much. A round of appreciation to all the people who have spoken so far. We are doing not too well on time, but we will try and manage that. I want to clarify, make it very clear that I am the supervisor that the president was talking about yesterday of this, the implementation of the MOU. I wrote it, I know it by hand. He didn't read it because I'm the one who took it to him. He didn't read it. So I am the one who will supervise the implementation of that MOU. And I was made supervisor by my boss, Raila Amolo Odinga. If you want him to fire me as a supervisor, you talk to him. He's in Bondo. Yeah. So we are the ones who know what the spirit of this document is. And as the governor has said, there is no longer any document binding us with UDA. It expired on the 7th of March. We have said that that extension is illegal. And therefore, nobody can tell us that there is any other relationship that we have. I also watched with a lot of consternation that people would sit in that room and just listen to blatant lies and clap, actually. We want to remind those governors as senators, because they always come to us, Governor Orengo, saying, oh, Sifuna, you and the Senate must push for more resources for us. And then they can sit there. They come and even complain that the disbursements never follow the disbursement schedule that is passed by the Senate, that they are 3-4 months behind in their allocation. Then the president is lying in your presence, saying that disbursements are up to date, and you are there just seated clapping, waiting for Sifuna to defend you. You know, some of these things, Governor, they don't make any sense. Devolution is under threat. I will just mention a few things that have already been mentioned. It is a blatant lie. They brought a document called a budget policy statement. We processed it. The figure there is 420 billion in this financial year. A paltry 5 billion shillings extra for devolution from 415 billion in the last financial year. And then you as a governor, having read that document, knowing your members of parliament in the National Assembly have already passed the division of revenue at 420. Somebody is telling you they will give you 450, and you are clapping. I think the problem in Kenya is worse than we thought. There is a very big problem somewhere. Now, let me tell you about my own seat in Nairobi. Baba's intention was to make sure that every function that is designated as a devolved function is actually devolved to the counties. The national government continues to hold functions that they have no business holding. And as Ososi has said here, instead of honoring the legacy of Mzee, because Baba was called the father of devolution, by ensuring that we actually fully devolve all these functions, the county government, the national government is actually snatching responsibilities of a county government. They spoke about the 80 billion that he likes to throw around, saying he's helping Nairobi. First of all, the national government owes Nairobi over 100 billion shillings. All they need to do is to pay us our money. Just pay us our money. Instead of somebody giving you 100 billion, they give you 80, then you clap. There is something fundamentally wrong in this country. Then, Baba was very clear about the existence of these national government institutions doing county functions. For instance, he was very clear that it is time to disband Kera and Kura. They wanted them dissolved, and that money that they used to build roads handed back to the county governments. That has not been done. Finally, as a leader of a political party, I wrote in that MOU that William Ruto's government will respect the identity and integrity of all political parties, because we are a multi-party democracy. Because he didn't read it, he doesn't know that it is there. What he has done to my party ODM, I can speak for Baba. Baba will never forgive Ruto for what he has done to ODM. ODM today is unrecognizable. ODM is unrecognizable. We used to be the party that fights for the people. We used to be the ones representing the interests of the people. Can you really see the representation of the people in those dances we are being shown on TV called Linda Ground? And that is the doing of William Ruto. He has supplied resources outside party channels to be able to destroy the party that is ODM. those of us who still believe that this great institution cannot go down will continue to stand and fight. Some of you, I hear you telling me, oh, Sifuna, leave ODM, you go and form another party. We are not leaving ODM. This party belongs to all of us. We have to fight for this party, bwana. Watuue tu kama watatuua, lakini tutakuwa hapo ndani. Hey, baba hakulea waoga, as I've told you. And we have all contributed to the standing of the party. You cannot tell Karoli to leave ODM. He's the owner of ODM. Hey, we are all owners of ODM. All of you who pay taxes. ODM is a taxpayer-funded institution. All of us have a stake. Even if you're not a member of ODM, you have a responsibility to fight for these great institutions of democracy, such as political parties. In a manner of closing and summary, we have outlined every single issue here, point by point, to point out the shortcomings of the implementation committee and the government of William Ruto. From the implementation of the NADCO report, we have talked to you about all the issues to do with the audit of the elections, the current IABC and all the challenges there. The question of inclusivity in government as well is properly addressed there. We have spoken to you about the challenges that continue in devolution and the lies that we were told yesterday about the monies that have been devolved, the clawback of functions. We have spoken to you about all of those. Promoting the livelihoods of young people, we have spoken to you about the failures there as well. Then we have spoken to you about the lack of content in their own report on anything to do with leadership and integrity. And in that particular theme, Honorable Orengo, Baba was concerned about opulence and display of wealth in public, including the harambes we saw yesterday. Not yesterday, just last week. Governor, I was very shocked that people who we have known all our lives have never given more than 100,000 or 10,000 shillings in a harambe. Suddenly, he can afford to give 5 million shillings in church. Baba must be rolling in his grave. The fight against corruption, we have all witnessed that there's nothing that has been done on that front. On the right to peaceful assembly, the less we say about it, the better, because we ourselves have been victims. If you count the number of political rallies and gatherings that have been attacked and broken up violently since the signing of the MOU, they are actually, it's embarrassing that William Ruto has paid no attention to this particular issue. It has gotten so bad that he can throw tear gas to a church, forgetting that he rode to power on the back of the church. The number of young people who have been killed since we signed the MOU in the last 12 months are upwards of 30, including Albert Ochuang, who was killed at Central Police Station here, and the latest one in Kitengela. When we were there, that gentleman called Vincent Ayomo was shot 4 hours after our rally was over. They have been peddling the lie that he was killed during the rally. He was shot coming from work. That life is upon William Ruto. And the people who are saying that they are going to compensate as a pole, they should know that that was somebody's child, that was somebody's husband, that was somebody's father. Then on agenda number 7, on the national debt, the Kenyan government can still not tell us as of today how much money we owe, who we owe that money to, and what that money went for. That is what Baba wanted us to achieve here, an audit of our debt. That is not something you can tell us that will happen in perpetuity. We had a deadline of 7th of March. On number 9 here, stopping wastage of public resources, Senator Mheshimiwa Gisairo has given you the most clearest example that you lied to us. In fact, they are claiming that the stoppage of money to the First Lady's office was made pursuant to the MOU. That's a blatant lie. That was thanks to the Gen Z. The Gen Z are the ones who forced them to close down those offices of First Lady and Second Lady. And those, what were they called? Prayer warriors that were stationed at State House. And after Gen Z chased those people from State House, the requirement under this particular agenda was to actually see a reduction in public expenditure. You do that, then you double State House allocation, ya China mandazi. We are not fools. We know what is going on. Then we come to the last one, which was protecting and promoting sovereignty of the people. You will see the number of court orders on important matters that the government has violated. It's not about buying vehicles for judges. We were not looking for employment of judges. We were saying the judges who are there, when they give an order, all of us have a responsibility to do what? To obey. That rule of law requires that if a meeting has been convened properly, for instance, under Article 37, there is no reason for you to tear gas that. And we also have spoken about the respect and integrity of political parties, the respect for integrity and independence of political parties, which Ruto has violated to the extent that ODM is no longer recognizable as a political movement. And he also, knows that he owes political parties a lot of money because Baba said, because I wrote what Baba was telling me to write, that we want full implementation of the political parties fund. Up to today, ODM alone is owed 12 billion. Ruto has paid not a single shilling to that date since the signing of this MOU, and now it has expired. Yes, and that is in the face of ODM has 5 court orders saying government must pay this money for the purposes of building our democracy. And that is why, in conclusion, we have given a score of 1 out of 10, which is a very generous score because Babu and the others believed it was -2, -1, but we put all of those together and we have given them 1 out of 10 or 10%. That 80% that they were talking about cannot be demonstrated to you in the document that they presented yesterday. With those, yes, extremely below expectation, which is why somebody was saying there that there is absolutely no basis to ask for an extension of that MOU, or indeed, absolutely no basis to begin negotiating any other agreement if they could not follow this 10.1. What makes you believe that they will follow any other agreement? So with those many remarks,